Hello, and welcome back to the LAN Show, or Yamcast, or Maycast.
Yamcast.
We need to make a poll.
Yamcast.
See if we can make
Maycast.
a poll.
Yamcast,
See what we're going to actually
Maycast.
rename it to, and then after we actually get a real rename, we need to make that logo us talking about.
Yamcast. It's us. It's our faces inside of a yam. Yamcast.
Yamcast. This sounds fun. But my name is Mark. I'm a computer engineer, an artist, a 3D printing addict. Who the fuck are you?
Me.
Why are you in my house?
Me.
Who in the fuck are you?
I just worked out in the garden.
What garden? There's no
Garden
flowers
that
here.
You hired me for?
What garden?
I'm fixing things. Howdy.
Last week's episode of Blasted Gentlemen and wonder why you weren't responding. You're just saying howdy, that's all you're saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with howdy.
What a fucking guy. Today we'll be talking about liquid glass and all of the fun things that we've been playing with over the last week of having the iOS 26 beta. Switch expanding batteries, and how easy it is or is not to make things in America. Oh yeah, you like to move it. I like to move it. That's one movie I haven't watched in a long time, Madagascar.
Yeah, I want to rewatch it.
That would be a really good one to rewatch. So I guess let's go ahead and get right into it.
Sick. Okay, now I'm set up.
So
I'm set up now.
you say you're set up.
Am I missing something? I think I got
What
it.
the fuck is wrong with your colors?
Whoa! I think it's because the dark.
It's gotta be,
mode
yeah, it's gotta be
Yeah.
the dark mode thing. So, in some pictures I will show here in a few minutes, Yanni has the inverted version. Like, all the colors are inverted of these pictures, and I'm like, are you fucking with me right now?
I wondered why I looked funny.
The cast has been going good. What, 2 weeks ago? We hit a peak of like 250 something viewers.
Yeah, that was
And
crazy.
it went back down, but that's fine. So it's been going pretty good though. But Yanni, iOS 26 and all of its fun stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you start with your thoughts. I wrote my notes down. But what are your thoughts? While I eat my ice cream.
We're in the developer beta now. It's very clunky. One thing I noticed, Mark does have iPad OS, and that seems to be pretty buttery. And I don't know how the new iOS is. I think, are you using it?
You mean Mac OS?
Mac OS.
This is the new Mac OS, yes.
And how's it been?
I wrote in my
Fine.
notes, it's stock. Like it seems like it's ready to ship, frankly.
Okay. So that's pretty good.
Based off of what I've done.
Yeah,
with
the
it,
battery
pretty much.
crashes. So for iPhone 15 and 16 models, they released a really quick beta patch. The issue is, so your phone would be fully charged, but the iPhone didn't see it as fully charged. It would just keep draining, even though it was actually charging. And eventually it would die, and you can't power it back on. But at work, we can run diagnostics on it. And when you run it in diagnostics, the computer will pick it up in recovery mode, or DFU, and we can essentially trick it. So mid-diagnostic, we can yank the cord and then plug it in to another cord, so that way it'll cancel the diagnostic and stay stuck in recovery, and then we can force restore it, which currently is the only way we can fix it. Because Apple released a patch note in the developer beta notes, and the very first line in the patch is the battery issue. Battery overheating. Thankfully, nothing
Yeah,
like
not that bad.
Maybe for the Switch, though. We're going to figure that one out later.
Yeah, the Switch is the interesting one.
But Although it seems pretty narrow. I don't think it's a big issue on the Switch. But yeah, and some of the glass things just don't make sense. A lot of the glass theme is kind of gross in a lot of areas, and I think, not I think, I'm pretty confident that's just going to be a lot of tuning. Like when Apple initially did iOS 18, there were some fugly looking apps, if you remember. Not apps, but when you hit the
Oh, when you change the theming?
no, when you'd hit the plus in messages, and that initial board would come up where you could slide through and do like location, Apple Pay.
Yes,
That looked so bad. That looked super bad. And that was like an obvious, okay, they're trying to implement it, and we'll see how it looks afterwards. It's kind of a lot of the same thing here. A lot of apps, not apps, but like the layout looks kind of garbage right now, and it's slowly getting better. And a lot of the animations and a lot of the styles, it seems like when I have Markup as a contact and I'm messaging him, and I'll click on his name and on the top, it seems like it doesn't, the animation doesn't know what it wants to do.
Yes.
Which is, it's hilarious, honestly, to see it like struggle. Because you have to click it and it like hesitates, and you got to click it again to force it. I think it hesitates because there's like an error in the background.
So my biggest pet peeve with this,
Yeah.
read what that says on the screen. No, not there. Not there.
Not
Well,
there.
actually, yeah, it's probably worse for you because of the black and how it's inverted.
Oh, actually, it looks good for me.
Okay.
because
that's
only
about,
because it's inverted. Yeah.
Because based off of this screen, that's about how it looks on my phone, and I could not, like, the usability. They definitely took the whole glass style in the right direction, but then they didn't think about all of the accessibility parts. Because, like, the white text on a white background
is abysmal.
Is pretty hard to read. Additionally,
I was gonna say, yeah, I can read it just fine.
Yeah, you can read it just fine because you're in your stupid inverted text. But then if I scroll down, let's see if I can line this up properly because I'm not paying attention. Just about more, like that. Hey, professional. The other thing that I found funny, since we're sticking on the design thing, I can zoom in a tiny bit on this. You can tell which app developers didn't use Apple's, like, I guess whatever their
Mine's completely
toolkit. Yours is so bad. I'm looking at yours, I'm like,
that's why I'm looking over at your screen because mine's.
But you can tell which developers used Apple's tools to make their app icon, and just put a PNG in there instead.
That's hilarious, yeah.
Because you can see like the glass outline, whereas like Hue, it's clearly just a PNG.
Yeah.
Same with the Starlink logo. I think even with this one, but like this is just the quickest example I could find on my phone.
Right.
Right before the show, but like you can see how it's supposed to look like a pane of glass. So anyways, those are my two funny things. I found it interesting. Like, you know, who does and doesn't use the tools that are given by Apple, but also the accessibility is really the big thing. Because I mean that really is so hard to read sometimes, and I have to like struggle and pay so much attention to read what is on my screen.
Thankfully, my wallpaper is very basic. It's just the
yeah, you have a black wallpaper.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's just all dark, and I have the Snorlax in the back, and that's it.
Me, on the other hand, I like having a cool wallpaper.
Yeah,
sir.
So yours is brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Goku I drew.
Right.
But yeah, like Yanni said, the beta is still very laggy, which is expected because it is a beta. I noticed, I don't know if you noticed,
mad clunky. Yeah.
and I forgot to take a picture or a screenshot, but some UI elements are not updated yet in Apple native apps. like weather. Weather looks exactly the same as it did
I don't use a lot of native apps.
in iOS 18. The clock app is mostly up to date.
The switch toggles are kind of gross right now.
Yeah, I don't like the switch toggles at all.
They're
It's
like,
funny because I'll hit the toggle, and then
and it'll like click back and
it'll click back,
yeah,
or it'll click the one under it.
yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
I'll be setting my alarms. I'm gonna toggle the top one, and the bottom one will toggle. I'm like, ooh, that's not good. It's really funny. Yeah.
I couldn't get a picture of this because it was in a text conversation, but sometimes when I'm texting, the space bar just disappears.
I haven't had that problem.
It's still there, you just can't see it.
Right.
Which I think is hilarious.
Right.
Let's see. It's also very strange because you go from, wow, this new aesthetic, this new glass, everything, and then you go into an app that isn't a first-party Apple app like Spotify, and it's like, oh, what did you do?
Right.
Like,
But in CarPlay.
CarPlay is so nice. I didn't realize you could put widgets on CarPlay now.
Mm-hmm. I just learned that from Nick today.
I learned that
because you set up
like
widgets.
yesterday.
I'm like, I don't know they released that. He just swipes over. I was like, oh.
So I know what I'm going to be doing.
I only use YouTube Music and Maps.
Pretty much
so
the same, yeah.
I have no reason to mess with it, but I might maybe play with it. Car stuff. I need analog everything.
Yeah,
even CarPlay. I don't even like CarPlay. I want to control everything from my phone because having to like do everything on the radio is like
it's too much.
It's
sometimes.
a nightmare. Yeah.
But yeah, iPad OS has been awesome. It's janky because like the window management is new to iPad.
Yeah. Yep.
But it seriously feels very native at the same time. Like some of the scaling of certain apps doesn't work very well.
Right.
But overall, it like seems like it was there since day one.
Safari worked really good.
Yeah.
The Safari scaling was nuts.
So I'm very surprised at how well they pulled off the multiple windows thing in iPad OS. And it has all the same strange behaviors that iOS currently has as well. WatchOS,
I've been using it nonstop.
No issues.
My alarm goes off and I
can't do that. I don't know why. There's gotta be something I'm doing wrong. Because I flick my wrist, my watch is charging because it's fucking dead now.
Yeah.
But like I flick my wrist and nothing happens. I just have to go and hit the button again.
Right.
So I don't know if maybe it's not a feature on my watch since mine's older. But that sounds kind of silly because it seems like a very simple feature. So yeah, who knows? But for all of these devices, no matter which one it is, the beta kills the battery. My watch has been dying before I get home every day now since installing it. My phone has been almost dying before the end of the day as well. My phone is in service. Like I do need a battery for my phone.
Series 9.
Oh, so I can't do it online. That explains why it doesn't work. So I have a 6.
Crazy.
So that's
because I guess that's when they added the whole like finger tap.
It's fucking dumb.
I enabled it once and I was like,
I didn't like it.
Never gonna use.
Yeah, I did not.
When I was cutting grass with the weed eater, it kept going off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It was ridiculous.
But yeah, it kills the battery life of everything.
You know, it's funny. The first beta for me, so because I have a iPhone 16, so it was the initial beta was destroying my battery. I have a fast wireless charger in the car. Previously, that's all I used. My drive to work and back, and sometimes during lunch would have my phone completely charged all the time. Never put it on at work. Never put it on at home. It only charges in my car. And then as soon as I did the first beta, I had to keep consistently charging it at home. Like constantly, because my battery was getting torn up. And then just recently, they did the emergency patch for the 15 and 16 models.
Or breaking phones.
They fixed the I guess the charging issue or the battery drainage issue. I don't know which it really was.
It seems like it was more of a software issue than anything.
It might have been charging. It was like really slow charging. It felt like super slow charging.
Right.
But it's good now for me. That patch they pushed fixed it quick.
That's good. But yeah, overall, I am very hopeful and excited to see where iOS 26 and all the 26 I also installed tvOS. There is zero difference other than there being profiles now.
Is it glassy?
It's glassy.
Okay.
It fulfills its promise of being glassy.
That's good.
And I installed it, and I was just waiting to I was waiting, I was excited. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see what it looks like. Then it loads. I'm like, where's the difference?
Loads in, you see a windowsill, and then you see your screen behind the window.
Oh my god. But yeah, so that was cool. I meant to, on to our next one. I meant to bring this up last week, but I think I was so exhausted from the week.
Yeah.
I forgot.
It's a stressful week.
How's your HT-PLA going?
I only printed one thing with it.
You only printed that with it?
The sheep.
Oh my god. I've been printing like a fucking madman with it. I love it. I'm at half a spool left.
Yeah, it's wild.
Actually, is it drying right now? No, it's sitting right there on the floor.
What color is
PolyMaker.
it?
White.
Oh, the white one. Okay.
That's what this was printed in.
Oh, the glass fiber.
So I'm gonna put it on my keychain.
Okay. Yeah, it looks great.
But feel the edges of it.
Right.
It's so rough. And then the white Balrog at work. I dropped it off when I worked on Friday.
Right.
I don't know where it is now. I left it in the back.
If it's not back there, it should be out front.
It's probably out front. Also, have you seen the little geese that I printed off?
Yeah.
The white is HT-PLA GF.
Okay.
Everything else is normal PLA.
Yeah, I found one by the printer and one by the old AC.
There's 6 in total.
I don't know if people are leaving them in their spots.
Oh, they better be. I'll kick somebody to this. Well, the 2 that you said you found are places that I put them.
Okay.
I'm surprised. There is one that I thought would be really obvious.
Right.
It's being stabbed by the little block dude in the back. What?
I'm trying to think.
Back. I don't know.
So one of your geese are being stabbed.
I hope not. Balrog. Oh, the Balrog is. Okay.
Oh.
But the little block dude. The little block dude. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, wait.
The goose was being stabbed by the Balrog, I think.
Maybe. The block dude in the back. That's kind of funny if that's what it auto-corrected to. But yeah, every time I've printed with it, little orange block dude with the swords. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. I forgot about that one. That one was print in place, 100%.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Aside from the swords, because the swords were a separate plate.
Yeah.
That was a crazy print. Yeah, every print I ever had with HTPLA, I had to stop because I forgot we were gonna do a thing. But every print I ever had with HTPLA, it feels physically robust, I guess. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
I want to do carabiners with it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you can
Because
feel
I've got a really
that.
cool design.
Like, that's
Yeah, but the carabiner's got a little flexible part, so I don't know how.
Yeah, it's gonna have to flex. I did think about
Yours
the
is
carabiner.
glass fiber. The glass fiber is way more rigid.
Yes, I
Mine's
like that
not
rigidity
glass
though.
fiber. For the body, that would be good.
Yes, I agree. We can mix. I could do the bodies. You can do the levers.
Yeah. I got it at 75%.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah. We could definitely try.
But I've had no issues with bed adhesion with it. I've had no issues with stringing. Actually, that's a lie. There's a little bit of stringing right there.
I mean, that's fine.
But really no issues with stringing. No issues. I haven't had a failed model yet with it. Everything I've printed has come out pretty much perfectly.
Right.
I had the most complex model was that Balrog that I've printed.
Yeah.
Which came out like.
Yeah.
I told Josh, I'm like, you are hard pressed to find the layer lines on this one.
Right.
It wasn't until you got to like the top surfaces where it's like, okay, there's the lines. But for the most part, like you could not tell by feeling or touching it that it was printed.
Right.
Or feeling or like looking at it until you started picking it apart that it was printed, in my opinion. I should have took pictures, but again, pictures will probably not share the full story.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, seriously, I'm very blown away with how well the material and how easy the material is to print with. So yeah, I think it's time to do the thing. And print us off some Bodies.
Bodies.
Are we doing it scientifically, or are we gonna do it
Maybe it's scientifically. We're gonna have controls in every group, right?
Yeah. I'm not much of a scientific person, but I also understand what goes into a good test. So, like, I don't know.
I can go to Ollie's or something and get a really cheap oven. I'm talking like a $15 oven that we can throw some plastic in and watch it melt.
We could. Well, I was just thinking. I mean, like we talked about a heat gun.
Heat gun.
Because really, all you need to do is just hold it over it.
But where are we gonna put it?
I figure we go to a dollar store.
Record it.
Figure we go to a dollar store, get some really cheap cookie sheets to put them on, so that way if they melt badly, it like doesn't make a mess.
Right.
And it's $1, so like you can just throw it away. And then there'd be one, I guess, on my deck, on that table. There'd be one in each of our cars.
Yep.
There'd be one here as the control. Then was there going to be another one, or was it just those 4 places? I think it was just those 4 places. No. Then there'd be one that we use a heat gun or the oven, like you said.
Yep.
Oven would probably be the easiest.
Mm-hmm. I figured that'd be the best control.
And we could use it over and over again.
Yep.
So an actual control for the long-term test, but then the initial test can be in the however many dollar oven.
4 materials? Technically 5.
HT-PLA, PLAGF.
And then, yeah.
And then normal PLA, PET, and ABS.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make sure to, like, super dry our filaments before, just to, like, make it consistent.
It's going to take me a minute.
I mean, I really just have to, well, I guess it would take you a minute, because you only have one, you have a 1 or 2 spool dryer?
I only got 1.
Oh. You can use my one down there.
It's
a single.
Can probably bring it next door, yeah.
Okay. Because I can obviously do it pretty easily.
Yeah.
With my 4. I have a spool of white PET G in there right now.
Right.
I would want to do different colors for each material, though, I think. So probably, obviously, white.
That's easy enough for me.
And then blue for yours. Probably, what do I have? Maybe red for the PLA. Or orange for the PLA.
My PET can be blue, black, yellow, white.
Yellow.
Yellow?
Yellow would be a good one.
Do yellow for my pet.
Yeah. Let's talk about that later. Because I realize we are in the middle of a thing. But yeah, HT-PLA is awesome. I don't, for now, I don't see a downside.
Right.
I was talking with a coworker at the main job.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that he's interested to see what the nozzle wear looks like over time, which you won't know until you print with it for multiple hours.
The glass fiber specifically, but I don't think that's going to cause issues.
Not much, at least.
Carbon fiber can be bad.
But he also wants to know.
That could be brutal.
He also wants to know about, like, the fibers shearing off while printing. Like, is it bad to breathe? Which, I mean, obviously it would be. But, like, I told him, like, every time I handle it, I never feel it in my fingers. I never feel anything actually breaking off of the prints that I do.
Glass fiber wouldn't get in the air.
Would not get in the air.
I'm pretty confident.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more weighted. I think we'd still be a lot more concerned with fumes.
Yeah.
But that's not...
And plus I have it in an extraction chamber anyway, so that's not a huge deal.
Yeah, we have exhaust, so that's plenty fine.
Yeah. So, that's all good and fun. Do we want to go on to the meat? This very long one that I made, or do you want to do yours first? Because this one is a pretty lengthy chat.
Yeah, I mean, it's an America one. I'm going to start off with 4745.
This motherfucker.
4745.
I told him. No, just nothing. Just go ahead. Go ahead, do it. Do it so we can get it over with, and we won't have to talk about it that long.
4745 is the price of the Trump phone plan. Donald Trump is coming out with his own smartphone.
Actually,
ironically,
back up.
Probably
that's wrong.
Made in not America.
Donald Trump is not coming out with it.
Yeah.
His media holding company is.
So Donald Trump.
And it was something about, like, his kids is the one actually doing it. But, like, it's...
I saw the opportunity for a cash grab on Made in America.
Chash grab.
Chash grab. It's $499 for the T1 smartphone. It's going to be, I think, 12 gigs of RAM.
So
not a super crazy processor. It's going to have, I think, 256 storage. It's like pretty decent specs, but yeah, $47.45 a month. Carrier coverage is still unclear. He said just as good as Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, but it's like,
come on now.
Every time you talked about the trio of carriers, it always ends up actually like worse than any of them. So we'll see what actually happens with that. I feel like most hardcore Americans are going to be pushing for, are probably part of the big three, either T-Mobile, AT&T, or Verizon. So they'll see 47.45 and be like, oh, that's appealing. When they don't realize that Mint, Visible, US Mobile, Straight Talk are all independent carriers and smaller carriers of the bigger ones.
Is not. Mint is owned by T-Mobile.
Yeah. Like Visible. Visible's owned by Verizon.
It's not independent then. It's a subsidiary.
Mm-hmm.
So it relies on... Is that what you're saying? Am I misunderstanding what you're trying to say? Because you said it was independent, but it's not.
Meaning you would reach out to Mint for support. You wouldn't reach out to T-Mobile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like it's its own company.
Yeah, because Mint doesn't have a storefront. T-Mobile has a storefront.
But it's a subsidiary of...
Yeah.
Large... But it's its own company. Okay, I understand that. Okay.
But then you also have things like US Mobile and Straight Talk that also work with all three of them. Right?
Yeah.
It depends on which one you go for. Because I used to have Straight Talk, and then I moved over to US Mobile.
U.S. Mobile's a killer deal.
Man, it's phenomenal. The support's been killer. And it's only $30 a month for unlimited talk, text, and I also get hotspot. I get limited hotspot, which is fine. I only need 10 gigs.
Right.
And it's Verizon coverage. You get to choose who you have your coverage with. They have a Dark Star plan that's with AT&T. Between Verizon and AT&T, they're both going to have they both have the best coverage in America.
Ironically, where I'm being moved to, I could probably benefit from being able to have both towers because I'm pretty sure AT&T gets way better coverage out there.
Because when Matt and I used to go there, it was like,
yeah,
he would have signal in some parts, and then I would have signal in other parts.
It was so funny because when I called you out there today,
right,
I was like, man, it's crazy. Everybody talks about the cell signal out here, and I'm having no problems. And then you like immediately the phone hangs up. I'm like, oh, great. And it was only when my body turned away from the window and my phone was right here and the window was over here. That's when I disconnected. I was like, holy crap, it's not even that sensitive. It matters, other spot.
And when I used to be in our tech drawing class, right by the window.
Yeah.
Because, you got like the long desk. I would always I sat on the far left. So, like, right at one of the edge windows. And so, if I was turned one way so he couldn't see me, I'd get no signal. So, I'd have to turn the other way. And I'd have, like, a lunchbox up on the table. And just, like, use that. But the whole point of doing that was to get a hotspot so I could get past the network so I could actually do things.
Right.
So, it was like, yeah.
And, of course, everybody wants to get on the network out there because there's no internet.
Yeah.
There's no cellular. Anyways.
It was awful. But yeah, Trump phone plan, $499 T1 smartphone.
Stop it.
And it's $47.45 a month, as in 45th and 47th president.
Stop it.
So and that is literally the reason why.
Such a stupid thing.
Since we're on the
because it's
the upcoming America topic.
Shitty phone. Ugh.
But not made in USA.
More than whoa, no, hold on, back up. They're advertising that it's made in the USA. But we all know electronics do not get made in the USA. At least not like that.
It's okay, got it. It's built overseas. It comes to America. They put the screen shield on it, made in USA.
Correct. Stonks.
Made in USA. So they put the back cover on it and then the screen shield. That's it.
They make all the parts separately in China.
I think technically sealing the units no, that's assembled.
I couldn't even tell you. Gold, more plastic, painted gold. Yeah, it's I can't wait.
It's gonna be so shit.
I can't wait till we get one in store and they're like, no, it's not working.
Yeah, bye.
You can go home now.
Yeah.
Can you guys fix my screen? No.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what
that's gonna be hilarious. Do you want me to go on to mine or do you want to do yours still?
No, you can go on to yours. I was gonna say about the price. People are gonna see $47.45 because they're with one of the big three and pay an astronomical amount. And they're gonna be like, huh, under $50? For this guy I like, sure. But they don't realize it's like it's literally $30 between Straight Talk. Okay, I'll go with their premium. It's $40 between Visible, Straight Talk, US Mobile, or Mint. And
what Joe said.
I still think it's a significantly better deal and better coverage.
Why can't you fix my America First phone?
My America First phone.
Oh my god, that gave me a cackle. Speaking of America First,
it's impossible to manufacture in Europe.
I was hoping you would watch the video, but now that I've written this up, I think I'm happy that you didn't, because I want to hear. Hopefully, I gave a good enough summary, but like seriously, everybody should watch this video.
I can have an external point on it.
Everybody should watch this video. So the topic is called "It is impossible to manufacture in America." The YouTube channel Smarter Every Day posted a video last week called "I Tried to Make Something in America," and went over the process behind his 4-year journey to make a grill scrubber 100% in America. To start, there's a quote from Tim Cook that he actually references in the video. The popular conception, this is Tim Cook's words, the popular conception is that companies come to China because of low labor cost. That's not the reason. The reason is because the skill and the type of skill. The tooling is very deep here. In the U.S., you have a meeting of tooling engineers, and I'm not sure we could fill a room. In China, you could fill multiple football fields.
Mm-hmm.
End quote. Destin, the Smarter Everyday YouTube channel owner, or host, or he owns that channel. That's his channel. Goes over all of the trials of trying to find a machine and tooling, trying to find machine and tooling experts in the States, and explains how most of the skill of the tooling trade is mostly passed on with the people who used to work on those trades every day previously. And with those people aging, of course, they pass away. Now, ultimately, there were two parts that he had trouble manufacturing in America and had to be sourced elsewhere. One, there is a silicone rubber pad, and essentially, I realized I'm talking about this and didn't actually. No, I don't want to pull it up yet. Hold on, let's do this because I already did talk to you about this. I still want to pull up. Can I like? Fuck, I'm just gonna pull it up. 1 second. I just want to make sure that we all are on the same page.
Not gonna lie, looking at the design of that, I might actually like.
Oh, I'm getting there. Just you wait. 4 years is how long it took him to design this. Him and another, or whoever the JJ George person is. I realized I forgot to mention him, and I am so sorry. It was not out of like disrespect or anything. Come on. You know you want to do it. Okay. I'm so sorry.
Do you think AI is the beginning of the downfall of Apple?
I don't think so. I don't think Apple's going anywhere. No matter what anybody wants to say. For some reason, I can't get this to pull up.
I need Siri to be actually functional.
Yeah, that's
It's been a year, and that's one thing. Did you see the Wall Street review
of what?
interview with Craig?
No, I did not watch that. I know you sent it to me. I just never watched it.
It was actually, I think the lady did a stellar job.
Okay.
She was pretty brutal with Craig.
I will not be able to actually show this because for some reason OBS wants to be lame. So I will just share a link in chat and so you have an idea of how it works or how it looks. But essentially there's a rubber pad.
Yep.
That it's this black thing right under here that helps it conform to the grill,
the grates.
Yep. So that way the chainmail can actually do the cleaning.
Yeah.
And do it successfully.
Yeah.
That silicone rubber pad, the manufacturer they ended up choosing was actually out of Virginia. They couldn't get the output that they needed in time to start shipping. Like they couldn't push out as many units, so they have it in pre-order right now, so they can try and build up units. But I believe I didn't rewatch this part of the video, so this might be incorrect. But I believe they said some of the early orders will have silicone pads that are from overseas. The other part, which is in a hilarious but also a sad part of kind of the video. Essentially, he spends the entire time explaining how it's hard to get parts not made in America. And one of the things was the actual chainmail that is used on the scrubber.
Yeah.
The chainmail, they tried a handful of designs that were made in the States, but none of them, they would always like stretch apart. They would lose, they would essentially break apart. Like that's the easiest way to explain it quickly. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm showing you things that you didn't need to know yet.
Oh, he's on YouTube.
I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. So, I guess. So yeah. So they had to settle because they wanted to stick with the not made in China shtick.
Yeah.
So they settled and they found a manufacturer in India.
Yep.
Who promised that they could do it. But when they received, so their samples they received were good. They
Yep.
were just one-offs. They were like, all right, this works perfectly. Then they requested their bulk order. They ordered all of it in bulk. They drop shipped from China all the chainmail that is used. And when he got to that part of the video, I was like, fuck.
Right.
I was like, it's
so close.
Close.
So far.
But the whole video, all what he goes on and on and on about is just how it's sad that all these tooling experts and all of these engineers are they're not jobs that are, I don't know if readily available is the right term, or
not
sought
wanted.
out. Yeah, not wanted.
They're not in demand.
In America specifically. So it's never a.
This tooling is astronomically expensive here.
So back to the Tim Cook quote, it's not a matter of China's cheaper. It's a matter of China has the experts that we don't have. So a few more things to summarize this. Destin was motivated by the COVID-19 PPE shortages. When in the United States they couldn't even make their own when the United States itself couldn't make its own face masks or shields because it was all being imported from other countries if you weren't getting like 3D printed ones from the community. He highlighted the cost gap. For instance, U.S. bolts are 35 cents to 42 cents each, where a foreign bolt is 9 cents each.
Yep.
Amazon knockoffs were also something he went over. And his partner, God, I want to get his like actual name. The gentleman who's like actually selling the product, he also made a grow torch. And essentially it was just you attach a little propane canister and you have like a little mini torch.
Yeah.
With a long stem, so you didn't have to get close to the fire.
Okay.
And he released that design, and Amazon within months was already had nothing but knockoffs.
Yep.
And so his product went to the bottom of recommendations because his was made in America and was more expensive than the Chinese knockoffs.
Yep.
So, the smarter scrubber was intentionally over-engineered, avoiding the cheap replace every year model of the growth scrubbers that are currently being used.
Yep.
Destin doesn't just advocate for U.S. manufacturing; he documents systemic hurdles, loss of expertise, price pressures, vendor misdirection, and broken supply chains. He urges viewers to consider local production, even at a lower profit, as a path of a sustainable, community-rooted industry. The Smarter Scrubber can be purchased at that link that I shared in chat for $74.99, and actually right now it is on pre-order. He did note that if it is Weird line in the screen by my right shoulder. Really? You can see that? It is gone. At least it better be gone.
Was there a weird line?
Yeah, there totally was.
Oh.
Why? It's been started again. It's been started again.
Oh, there we go.
Is it back up?
Yep. We're back
Cool.
up.
Well, that was interesting. Thanks, Joe, for breaking my stream. No, I'm kidding.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
That was so weird. I saw it. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I can make it bigger. And then as soon as I went to go resize it, is when it crashed.
That's funny. Yeah.
And what's funny is that popped up after I was trying to pull up a picture of the smarter scrubber. So maybe the smarter scrubber is just too powerful for us all.
Scrubbed us right off the internet.
Jesus. They're gone forever. No, don't say that. But he was saying if the order link ever says pre-order, that means essentially they ran out of one of whatever it takes to make this.
Okay.
Which it's more than likely that silicone pad. So they will re-import them. One of the big things was that he made sure it was modular. So like the head pops off so you can use it with just your hand.
Yeah.
There's a scraper part of it, obviously. But you can also put it all together for more leverage.
Yeah.
So it was very smartly designed, in my opinion.
Right.
And I'll say 90% made in the USA.
Yeah.
It does. I think there's a threshold of what, like how like whatever percentage of parts in your product needs to be actually made in the USA to be considered made in the USA.
Yeah.
And I'm almost certain they're over that threshold.
Yeah.
Oh, Yanni's looking it up. While Yanni does that, let me post this link as well. This is a very interesting video, and I really want to recommend everybody to go watch it. It is very eye-opening, and very informative. Is it 55%?
The current threshold apparently is 55%. Looks like now it's slowly crept up to 65%, and they aim for it to be 75% by the end of this
okay.
decade.
So, yeah, he's very over that threshold.
Yep.
But with all this being said, one, Jesus Christ, one, are you going to buy a smarter scrubber?
Me, still no.
What a motherfucker.
Because I just pull my grates off and clean them. Yeah. I just scrub them and clean them. I have no use for it.
Want to?
Yeah.
Just to support. Am I going to? Oh, maybe. Probably.
Yeah.
I want to because I would like this is something I would like to support.
Right.
But and plus my grill brush is a little long in the tooth anyways.
Right.
So it's a little overdue. But the other thing that I totally glossed over while writing this, the whole reason they designed it the way they did was because of the whole metal bristle thing.
Yeah.
Where like you can ingest one if it's not like properly cleaned or and like there are people he did an interview with somebody and he was like, yeah, they need to have exploratory surgery to get the bristle out of my throat.
For sure.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
so
brutal.
So that's why they went with the design that they did. But so you're not getting one. But overall, what do you think?
I like it. I do like it better than the metal bristle ones. I have a plastic bristle one that I use right now, and it's because I'll let the grill sit there and cook, and then I just have a...
Thank you, Joe. I hope you enjoy Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. I've been playing through Breath of the Wild. My Breath of the Wild rerun's been awesome. But going back to the grill thing, I have a white vinegar mix that I use to spray it down while it's hot, and then afterwards, and then I just scrape it super clean with the plastic bristles once it's mostly cooled off. I want it just a tinge warm,
Yeah.
but obviously not warm enough to melt the plastic.
Right.
And yeah, that's just how I do it. Right now, what I have to do, I haven't cleaned my grill since last time I used it, like last year.
Oh God.
Which means it's caked in grease, which is a good thing.
Hell yeah.
Because it's
seasoned.
Not seasoned.
Nicely seasoned.
I guess technically seasoned in a good way. It prevent rust. So that's why I haven't like dove into cleaning it. So I need to properly clean it, clean the grease trap and everything, and then I want to layer some foil down so that's easier to clean down the road. So I have a little bit of work to do on my grill.
Yeah.
But it's fairly new. It's not like super old or anything. We did cover iOS 26 a little bit. There wasn't too much on it. We can gloss back over it right at the end.
Yeah.
But
what do you think
as far as the design? I like the design a lot.
Yeah.
The chainmail's super smart.
Very smart.
I don't like metal on metal because those grill grates generally are like they're coated to an extent, or some of them are like cast iron. And I feel like it can break through some of those coatings. And, like mar it and like cause rust if not seasoned properly afterwards. But people use metal brushes anyways, so the metal chainmail obviously is significantly smarter, because even if somehow you still manage to ingest one of those, it's a smooth...
That's a big fucking...
Yeah, that would
circle.
be insane, but it's a smooth ring that will just pass right out versus a metal bristle that'll cause
stuck in your esophagus.
Irritation, and you'll have no idea what's causing it until, well, you're sitting in a hospital bed and they got to search for it.
Right.
Or you could get super lucky and pass it.
Yeah, that would be the best way to do it.
My mom had swallowed a needle once.
Huh?
Yeah, when she was a child.
Oh my God.
She was playing around with the needle like this, and it just fell and shot straight down her throat.
Holy shit.
And she went to the doctors. I think she was there overnight. And they were all just waiting for it to pass. They just kept an eye on her, and eventually it just passed.
That's impressive.
Insanely impressive, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yep. A needle. Like a sewing needle, yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, that's crazy. But so the
definitely haven't had that problem.
The Made in America thing specifically. What are your thoughts on all of his trials, tribulations, and the fact that we can't make a fucking grill scrubber here?
I don't entirely agree with Tim's response.
Okay.
The popular conception is that companies come to China because of the low labor cost. Undeniable, yeah, that is kind of the truth. Because you're talking about, even if we had the skilled tooling engineers here, first off, they just wouldn't even have a job. There's no point to be a tooling engineer here. Because practically nobody's tooling here. Because it just doesn't make any economical sense. It's expensive. It's insanely expensive. And to make those molds, even in China, it's expensive. Because they're limited use molds. You got to pay for the next mold.
Right.
And you got to hope it's exactly the same.
Right.
So up front, you'll want to make like 10 of them. And you may not use all 10 of them. So you got to make sure you're getting your money back on those molds. And if they do that here, it just doesn't work.
I think you should watch the video, because maybe my notes didn't explain it very well.
How old is the video?
It's like a week. Less than
a week old. I feel like, did he post about this earlier? Because I feel like I watched something about him mentioning that he was on this mission.
Maybe.
Because this sounds all really familiar.
I remember on the LAN Show that it was talked about someone who made a website about a grill scrubber. One said made in America and was marked up to reflect the cost.
Yeah.
And one made exactly the same way, was made in China. It was cheaper, and you had the choice. and they all went for the cheaper choice.
I think that's what it was then.
Maybe that's what you're thinking.
I
thought that too.
I might have seen that video because this all sounds really familiar. The longer we talk about it, I've seen something about this. And it may not have been this in specific, but the common issue that he ran into was finding some things to be made in America for the rail scrubber.
I agree with I agree with the whole synopsis of the video.
Yeah.
Which essentially is we need to have this capacity in America again.
Right.
And we don't.
Yeah.
We need to be able to make our own things and not need to rely on another country.
I think it's great. Manufacturing jobs are awesome. People are like, oh, but look at the conditions in X country. It's like, yeah, because their labor laws are different, you know?
Yeah.
It's like work there and you're guaranteed to at least have some roof over your head.
Right.
You know, over here, we're not guaranteed shit. Minimum wage doesn't guarantee, like, anything. So it's, I guess that's the hard part of it, right? They're going to have factory jobs, but they're going to have to pay a lot.
Right.
Unless they start something similar. So they have, like, some ports, right? Like in Louisiana. They have some, like, fabrication facilities. And they have entire neighborhoods next to them, essentially bought up by those facilities.
Right.
And it's, if you work with us, you get to live in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's like, we guarantee you this, and we can, you know, give you the discount
what
or pull it from your jack. I can't remember exactly.
Company towns.
So they're just company towns, like a village. But those, I think, are freaking awesome. It's like, there are, and this is going to be a hot take, if taken out of context, there are parts of communism that are like, okay, and a lot of it's like, do X get Y?
Do I have to cut the feed again?
So, cut the feed again. Just leave it right there. That's it. We're done. Just cut the show. Yeah, you're like, end.
Communism's pretty cool, end.
Yeah. Oof. No, but it's like, do X, get Y, right? So, like, in a lot of those countries, it's be a cog in the system, and you'll at least get basic shelter, food over your head, and healthcare, right? It's going to be the absolute bare minimum, but it's guaranteed. You know, to that extent, you really can't complain.
With that point of view, yeah.
Because I'll be honest, there's a specific group of people here below the poverty line that would probably take that. To be able to sit in a chair and just work in a factory.
And be guaranteed to have a house.
Yeah, to at least go home and know you can have a meal.
Right.
And not be rained on. And yeah, it might be a little hot, stuffy, or maybe you luck out and you get the little miniature AC unit. But you got a place, you know? So it's like, even like on the worst, lowest end crap, that's not bad at least. But then we have freedom here, but the issue is a lot of our people anywhere just aren't really taken care of.
Yeah.
Which is the only thing that, yeah, I'm all for the manufacturing here. I really want to see it happen. I just think we also need to start working like for the people again. Like, do this for ourselves, not for, we're not trying to do this to make a point, right? And it seems like that's what we're kind of driving ourselves into, is to make this, is to do all manufacturing here to make a point that we're self-sufficient. But I don't think that's helping anyone unless we address, like, our core problems.
Right.
So if this is going to open up more company towns and, like, company neighborhoods and villages and things like that, then by all means, I think that'd be great. But, yeah.
I don't know if a part of me doesn't like the idea. Like, the way you describe a company town, awesome.
Yeah.
But the way company towns have gone historically, not, at least here in America,
well, because
not awesome.
You got to think about it, right?
Because, well,
if you get cut,
you lose your house.
Yeah, that's it.
But, like, company towns historically have been, and again, in America, I'm not saying, I can't speak for anywhere else, has been very, what's the term? Harsh conditions.
Yeah.
Like you said, You said, it might be stuffy. Like there was one. I want to say it was like a Ford company town.
It's usually out of like the Louisiana
and
ports, so it makes sense. Yeah.
and it was this is like the 20s maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I didn't have AC back then, but essentially it was like you had living, but your apartments, if I remember correctly, were like it was one long room,
Yeah.
open floor plan with sectioned off parts.
Yeah.
And you had up to 3 families living in the same room, essentially. And like that's where it's like that's the downside
brutal. Yeah.
to company towns.
No, I was talking about the actual neighborhoods.
Like actually have a neighborhood.
They have actual neighborhoods, yeah. And I think that's most of them nowadays for actual neighborhoods. And it's
not all of them exist anymore.
It's because of the
it's not explicitly
the limits.
Yeah.
They have like Second Job has one.
Right. Yeah.
Out in
I know what you're talking about.
I
was gonna bring that up, but I know it's not common anymore. I thought.
Apparently it's like very nice. We don't hear about it often, but like in Louisiana, to my knowledge, it's like very common down there.
Oh, is it actually?
Because there's a lot of manufacturing and like.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't. Maybe that's
Shreveport, I think specifically.
Maybe that's why I thought it wasn't.
I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty confident, being that one place we know for sure has it.
Yes. Job number 2 for me.
Yeah. We know for sure has it. I don't know how. I assume other, like, if that one can do it, I assume all the other ones do it. And the whole reason why they do it, it creates their own little like in our area where we're pulling a they put apartments up by our mall, right? To pull more like people into the area, even though it's not needed.
No, definitely not.
But like our mall, I think it was safe to say to a point, is kind of dying a little bit. So attaching that, we got JC Penney closing, Sears got completely wrecked.
JC Penney's not closing.
It looks miserable when I walk through it. Last time.
That's different. It always looks miserable in there.
But even recently was like really bad.
How recently was recently?
Week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I haven't been there since that soon.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's like apparently their holdings aren't good. Like nothing's good about it.
I remember we went there,
and then I don't know if you noticed, 2 of the food court places completely closed down too.
I did notice that. I just thought that was big. They don't ever they always have empty spots there.
Usually.
So I'm not surprised by that.
But last year it was all kind of like on the up and up. It was pretty good.
Oh, was it?
But this year we got 2 shut down already, and I'm like, yeah. So it's like places come and go, obviously, but for our area, it's kind of like,
I think there's a lot more.
Looks like they're trying to pump life into a dying mall. They've had whatever project they've been trying to do in there for like the last 4 years now.
Failed at it.
And they just still can't do it. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I can't even remember anymore.
It's so insane.
Yeah, they're doing something in there. There's for 4 years they still can't get it done.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
So,
yeah, secretly money laundering. Right?
Probably, honestly, at this rate.
And that's probably a lot of people. The amount of freaking tobacco huts there are.
There's one that opened by my house.
Yeah, there's not a single thing you can tell me. I can stick a camera right out there and record them all day, and in an entire day they maybe get like 20 customers.
Yeah.
Like, you are not telling me they're staying open off of 20 customers.
No.
Our gas station too, that closed down, and we got that freaking BP with
by you
stinky dude in there. Yeah. They ran all of our original ladies that were in there. It used to be a different gas station.
Oh, that sucks. They ran them out.
They're all gone.
Oh
yeah.
My God.
The coffee sucks. The food's not hot and fresh anymore. And the dude's really stinky and on his phone all the time.
That sucks.
Yeah, he smells really bad.
They wanted to keep him.
And the dude's totally lazy. Apparently they were late on paychecks, and that's the last thing I heard. And they probably just never delivered. Because they came in there with some pretty good promises. We're like, everyone's going to get $1 raise. We'll hire 2 more part-timers, and none of it happened. I think they just did it to help with the transition, and then they just took over.
Probably. They probably just gave
and
up.
now it's just completely going under. And I'm like, I don't understand how you can afford to literally buy the place, get the whole property, and stay open when no one goes there.
Right.
Like the officers don't even go there anymore.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Because that was like the place for them to go to.
So yeah, because they got free coffee and they buy like 3 or 4 other things for their shift. So it was like full reason to go there. And the coffee used to be phenomenal. And honestly, when they came in, because they have a Green Mountain coffee, it was actually awesome. They have a house blend, it's really good, but now it's not fresh anymore. Dude just leaves it in there for days.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right? It's like
awful.
Yeah,
that's gross.
For days, like it's burnt.
That's right. You got a wall right up the road.
Burnt my coffee.
That's all right.
Yeah,
you
so
burnt
like
my coffee.
I just go to Wawa now, which is insane. I never thought it'd be like everyday Wawa person, but I had to get used to it because I had no choice.
Yeah, if you want to get your coffee.
Yeah.
You want to talk about getting your Switch banned?
Yeah, mid-carts, Switch 2 console bans. You want me to go over it?
Yeah, Yanni got banned on his Switch 2.
And I definitely did not. But they had these things called mid-carts, and I can't blame people for using it.
Are we... Hold on, back up before we continue. Are we actually allowed to talk about it? Or is this one of those things where, like... Yeah.
We can talk about it. We just can't show anything on it.
We just can't show anything. We can't...
We're just speaking facts right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what the line was.
Yeah, I can explain. We can explain what it is. We can't show people how to use it.
Now, yeah, because I'm not saying like...
Yeah, there's something with keys that I just don't bother to understand. I'm not going to get one.
But...
And it was tempting for me to get one, and I'll tell you why, but...
Because I know Nintendo is very... Don't those break... No. They don't... Well, they break your Switch because Nintendo is forcibly breaking your Switch. Anyways, yes. Continue.
And based off the message... Yeah. Based off the message, I think it's more of a... It's a pretty hard brick. But I think it's more so just adding a limitation. So I just put here, I put users found that using a MIG flash card now has the potential to get your Switch 2 banned once it goes online. Some people were saying there's like a voltage difference that it reads. Other people were saying it's something with the keys and some sort of software check on the card itself. But people that were previously trying to test and use it, even their own, they have games with their own local keys and their own local data that they pulled, or if they tried to perform a backup of their games or game data, their Switches are now being banned online. The message is along the lines of, it's like, I can't remember exactly what it was, and I don't have it up immediately, but it was something along the lines of, like, this Nintendo console's been restricted from online use, along the line of that. And yeah, that kind of sucks. It doesn't seem to be affecting user accounts at this time. It looks like the units are just being like soft locked. So I guess that's the plus side to it. But my biggest thing, I almost dove into this, and the sole reason for diving into it would have just been for the backups, because Nintendo still leaves the decision for game save data up to the developers, which I think is criminal.
Yes, I agree, 100%.
What I was saying is they say something along the lines of, when they like brick your Switch, it's along the lines of online access has been restricted.
Oh, so you can still use your Switch?
That's what I'm wondering, and it seems like it's not affecting user accounts.
Okay.
Because I know, like, I have a homebrew DS, right? And I only homebrew the DS.
Banned.
Because I tried to make a physical collection.
Copy strike.
And I couldn't get a physical collection. Terrible. Because they stopped selling the game. And I wasn't going to pay somebody else, not Nintendo, $150 for Pokemon Black or White, and I couldn't get it from the eShop either. I was like, forget it. I'll just get this one from the eShop, and I'll have an eShop thing, and that way I know I'll be guaranteed. I couldn't buy it from them. They didn't give me the option. I tried throwing my money at Nintendo. I literally had zero option. The only way I was going to be able to play this game, by like, Nintendo would not allow me to get the game in any way, legitimately, to give them money. The only way I could do it was homebrew it. So I homebrewed my DS, and I'm signed into my account, my main account, but thankfully nothing's happened. But these are games that are archived and not available anymore.
Right.
So it's like you technically really can't.
You can't get them
do anything with me, and that DS is under a different EULA and all that stuff. It's like really old. So even if it's my account on there and I'm going online doing it, which I can't even go online with it anymore. There's no reason to. I can still, just do everything local, like play all the old Pokemon games. No, but my thing is, Nintendo needs to do something with the existing save system, because they leave it up to the developers, and they pay for Switch Online for online backups, cloud backups. They developers like for Animal Crossing can just opt out and be like, nah, I don't think that needs to be in the cloud.
Right.
I don't think hundreds or thousands of hours in our game needs to be saved in the cloud. I think that can just stay local.
Right.
But it can't be backed up anywhere else. I think it just needs to stay local. And Nintendo says, don't worry.
No.
Don't worry. If something happens to your Switch, just get another one and then transfer your data. Why am I getting another Switch?
Right.
I'm getting another Switch because my current Switch doesn't work. What if network doesn't work?
Yeah, what if you can't upload your latest?
Can't transfer my save.
Right.
What if it caught fire because the battery expanded?
Because
my save is gone because you won't let me take it physically off of the system.
But Yanni, it's security.
Dude, this is actually criminal. I do not understand how they can allow this. Like, how that's even allowed. Like, that's actually super criminal.
You know what I've been thinking about recently?
If I gave my money to a bank and the bank burnt down without insurance, it's like digitally in the bank, and they're like, oh, the hard drive that had your cash on it is gone. So your money's gone.
You know what I've been thinking about recently?
Good luck.
I've been thinking about all these antitrust lawsuits that are going around.
Same principle, yeah.
How is Nintendo not targeted by the antitrust lawsuit?
I think ethically, they're a decent hard asterisk.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're like trying to convince yourself of that one.
No, because they have absolutely like ruined people's lives.
Yeah,
into lawsuits. Like there's a, I can't.
Wasn't Gary it Bowser?
Yeah, it is.
Or well, I don't know if it's Gary Bowser, but it's something Bowser.
Ironically, the name being, I think that was it. The dude's like disabled too.
Yeah,
he's disabled and he's sued for like 20-something million or something even more egregious.
Well, there was the guy that
the dude is either retired or close into retirement, and he's disabled and like on disability, and like he can't. There's no fucking amount of anything anywhere shy of hitting like the mega millions could he ever even pay this back. Like it's not possible.
They're garnishing his wages for the rest of his life essentially, because he got fined like millions and millions and millions of dollars,
which again is also criminal. But at the same time, you're a company trying to protect your assets, so you have to put your foot down on someone somewhere,
right?
At some point.
But God,
otherwise, if you're just going to be
ruin someone's entire existence,
yeah, that's the brutal thing. And I like to think in my head that maybe they made a background deal and they just let him push that as a facade and say, hey, We're going to give you hush money. It's going to be completely undocumented, but you're going to sign this, and you're not going to get a copy. And you're going to say that you're miserable and we fucked up your life, and we're going to take the flack for it, just so people don't fuck with our shit.
I feel like that's a little that's a little too wishful thinking. I feel like Nintendo.
Part of me wants to think like something like that happened.
I don't know about that one.
Because you got to remember, this is the same company where every single executive at the table in global Nintendo, like every single executive in every country, took the pay cut to save all their employees.
Right.
To retain all of their
employees. That's fine for their employees, but once you mess with their IP, they just want you off the planet.
So there are not very many companies that will grab every single one of their executives and say, hey, let's take pay cuts to, dude, I mean astronomical pay cuts, like 80%. Like, let's take pay cuts down to a standard rich person salary and pipe it right back into the company to save all these employees.
I just said that they want
That was the crazy thing.
I just said that if you mess with Nintendo's IP, they want you off the planet.
Yeah.
My brain immediately went to them just like a trebuchet and just shoot you into space.
Literally shoot you into space.
A space trebuchet just...
I'll be honest, for the one guy, that probably would have been like...
I would have loved to have done that.
Yeah.
Wait, I get to go to space for free?
Oh,
okay, let me mess with Nintendo's IP.
Yeah, pound me $22 million down and I can never recover. You just send me to space.
Just send me to space. It's okay. I'll just die in space. It's alright.
No, but there was a user recently, right, moving over to the Switch 2. He had lost a Pokemon save that had over 1,000 hours in it. Over 1,000 hours, including multiple transferred Pokemon from other generations over the last 20 years. From Game Boy Advance, Game Link, upload, all the way up and through. So I told you, you just had to wait in line. You just had to wait in line. I told him.
Come on. You had to wait in line. You had to wait in line, and you also had to give Yanni a small loan of $500.
Yeah, small loan.
Small loan.
You know, Costco has them in stock. You missed that earlier. We went into Costco. They got the cards there.
Costco has them in stock. Asterisk.
Yeah. They got them. They're listed as bundles. So it's $5.25. You get $5 off.
You get $5 off.
Yeah, they're eating $5. I thought that was hilarious. Like, Costco could actually...
Connor, it's free.
Eat all of it.
But you have to give an upfront loan of $500. That sucks.
Dude, actually?
That sucks.
I can't believe that actually happened. Someone returned it I went to buy and someone beat me. Small loan of $1 million.
Oh my god.
It's like a small loan of 1,000,000 pennies.
Jesus.
Cash is cash.
What is that equal to? Is that
I don't know. Is it $1,000?
Is that $1,000?
$1 million. Yeah, I think it's 1,000 minus 2 zeros. Yeah.
$1 million?
Yeah, 1 million minus 2 zeros. So 100,000. Oh, 10,000?
Yeah, 10,000.
10,000. Is 1 million pennies? Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Wait. Yeah, 10,000. Okay, yeah, 10,000.
Okay. I don't need the calculator for this. We got it. 10,000.
You was defeated.
Defeated.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's the issue. The guy went to transfer to a Switch 2. Everything transferred except his Pokemon Scarlet, which had all of his Pokemon data. I'm going to be honest, I can actually feel with him for a little bit. There's only one Pokemon game I've ever, 100% completed. It was Pokemon Diamond. I had, I think, some of my nephew's Game Boy games that I ended up picking up because they just didn't touch them anymore, and I think I just asked for them, and they're like, okay. And they had, I think, a Game Link cable they gave me, and I had 2 Game Boys, and I, linked one, and I linked to the other, and I think their Game Boy was, garbage, and it, just barely worked for the link, so I could transfer Pokemon. And then I transferred all of those over to the DS, and I got everything into Diamond. And at the end of Diamond, I got an action replay once I had everything 100% legitimately And then with the action replay, it unlocked things like the hacked stuff, like you can get Arceus and stuff like that. So, like, I think Shaman and Arceus. And I went in and I did that. And I got curious, and I was running through a wall, and I ran way too far, and then I corrupted my save.
Oh my god. That sucks.
That's when I stopped playing Diamond, and then afterwards Black and White came out, and I just stopped entirely. I was crushed
I have
when
not
I lost my Diamond.
I have not cared for a Pokemon game since, honest to God, since Fire Red.
Oh, wow.
I have not given two shits about a Pokemon game since then.
Yeah, Diamond and Pearl,
Pokemon Go is the closest thing, but like even still, I did not care for it.
Yeah, once they started doing the region lock stuff, I was like, not everyone can afford to travel.
Because
and all
me and my brother,
and they're like, oh, just trade, and I'm like,
me and my brother would just pass the Game Boy to each other essentially.
Yeah,
and there wasn't separate saves, so I'd have to figure out what the fuck he was doing last.
Right.
But like.
No,
that was that was my first and only Pokemon game I ever loved.
Yeah.
Everything after that, I was like, this is boring. Everything.
I think the first
before that, I enjoyed Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Yeah, Red, Blue, and Yellow.
And then
I had Yellow on the Game Boy Color, which I don't think I ever played, honestly. I think I loaded it up, loaded the save, did a little bit of walking, and then that was it. I never actually played.
Pikachu
Pokemon
Pinball was the shit.
Troze. You remember that one?
No, I don't.
Pokemon Troze.
Pokemon Stadium, though.
Coliseum.
Coliseum.
Pokemon Troze.
What is this?
It's like Bejeweled, but with Pokemon.
Oh my god.
And they have like Tetris Pokemon too.
No.
It was amazing. Pokemon Troze rocked.
That's stupid.
I played Pokemon. There was Yellow.
I played Pokemon.
And I had the Yellow Game Boy too. And then I played a little bit of Emerald. And then I think Sapphire I played a tinge of. And then I didn't really get into it until I had Diamond. And then I did Mystery Dungeon. It was Blue Rescue Team.
Jesus Christ. You like Pokemon a lot more than I did.
So, well, the two ones that I played excessively were Diamond and Blue Rescue Team. Those were the only two that, like, I really went hardcore at it.
Yeah.
And then I had Pokemon Coliseum for the GameCube. And then I had
Was it for the GameCube? I thought it was for the Nintendo 64.
No. N64. Pokemon Coliseum? Stadium.
No, yeah, I'm thinking of Stadium then.
Stadium.
Because, okay, so I definitely meant Stadium, not Coliseum.
I never played Stadium. I played Coliseum on the GameCube.
Okay.
And then on the Wii, I played Pokemon.
I played Stadium when we were younger. We had a babysitter we went to, and her grandson would always bring over his console, and that was the first time, and really the only time until I was older, I ever got to play with an N64. So he always brought over Pokemon Stadium. And so we would just sit there and we would just play. I was always terrible at it. I would always lose, but I still enjoyed my time.
Pokemon Rumble was sick. You would go through these levels and it was just kind of like a zigzag thing.
Yeah.
And you'd go through one place and then another place, third. And like on the third or fourth one was a boss. And the boss was just like one big whatever. It could be like a Blastoise or something.
Right.
And you basically like level up and you get better Pokemon on your team. To which you can then go and like actually fight bosses.
Okay.
And it would be like Mewtwo, Palkia, Dialga. It could be like any one of Rayquaza was in there.
Right.
I don't know if Ground and Kyogre were in there, but Pokemon Rumble was super sick. That was on the Wii. Matt and I just recently did a playthrough of it again.
Okay.
I can't remember if that was earlier this year or sometime last year, but we fairly recently did a whole other playthrough of it again. And that was a ton of fun. But yeah, Pokemon Rumble I think was like the last one I played aside from Violet. Violet was the The last one I actually went all the way through.
Gotcha.
I tried getting back into black or white. I got like maybe an hour and a half into black, and then I just stopped. But no, I couldn't imagine the 1,000+ hour save. I feel for him because
that would suck.
this you're just relying on the console, right? You're doing console to console transfer. Here's the crazy thing. You ready for this?
Oh no.
I made a comment to Nick that either Nick or Matt, I think it was Matt, that my current Switch is currently just a paperweight.
Yeah.
When you transfer your data from Switch 1 to 2, you're taking your data off.
The original Switch, you're taking the data off.
It's not a copy.
Why?
This guy, so this is why this is so serious. This guy did the transfer. It fucking cleans that Switch, leaves the game like data on there, but not the save data. And it sets the game data on Switch.
Why?
Because fuck you, that's why. Yeah. That's Nintendo.
Okay.
That is why it's so aggravating. That's why people try and use... Honestly, obviously, yes, the mid cart, you can use crack games, whatever. Majority of people were just backing up their save data, loading their game cards onto it, because they had reverse engineered, figured that one out. So they loaded their game cards onto it just for convenience. And that was the end of it. Majority of people just wanted to back up their saves and back up their games so they could just have it all in one cart. Fair. Sure. I understand why they're going after MIG, but for fuck's sake, please do something with the saves.
Make a better
because that cannot
system.
happen. I told you I've had grown-ass people drop to their knees because they've lost 400 hours of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Which, I feel it. I totally get it. I, for the first time in my life, had ever felt depression as a child. When I lost my, like, years of time that I had put into my Pokemon Diamond save. Like, that was all of, like, 5th and 6th grade for me, was Pokemon Diamond.
Right.
It was freaking devastating when I lost it. So much so I, like, never touched a fucking DS again. Like, it was that bad. So, yeah. That one sucks. And then I just told you guys, local Costco has Switch 2s in stock.
Yeah.
They had like 12 cards on there, so no one was going crazy over. Like they've got them.
Like
so.
I was telling you, GameStop's gonna have them too, with less staples this time.
Yeah, with less staples.
With less staples.
Because honestly, again, GameStop, you know, we're geeks and nerds and whatever. Like, fuck the store that was putting staples through the box. I feel like they did that out of like. I want to say it wasn't malintent, but you don't staple shit to a game box. Like, fuck you for doing that. That's not cool.
Yeah.
Putting holes in the box, that's not okay.
Care, though. They just don't care.
Shocking. Just to, like, fucking wham. Like, I just don't get it.
We've worked with people in the past who have been managers and whatnot who worked at GameStop, right?
Yeah.
And with how quickly their management changes hands,
constantly, yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if that was just I don't know, that sounds like a smart idea, and someone who's definitely not a gamer was there and made the decision, essentially. And you know, whatever stores did that, because apparently there's more than just one.
Yeah.
So
there's a specific New Jersey location that was a
industrial staples. Oh my god, dude!
Because I guess the New Jersey one was probably that one.
Staple gun.
Because you know we have the what are they called? Optimum.
Holy crap!
We have the Optimum staples, but it's like for the one touch.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they have like an open-ended one touch.
Yeah, they probably have a.
Yes, like so dumb.
Construction staples.
Yeah, staple gun, right?
Oh
nail gun to it.
Terrible. I want to know about this battery expanding issue.
That's so aggravating. I think the more widespread issue they have, apparently Switch. Thankfully, mine seems fine. Switch to Ethernet may not be working. It may
Oh,
only be
okay.
connecting via Wi-Fi.
That's fine.
These are quick, small ones.
You don't need Ethernet.
People have reached out to Nintendo support. A couple people have had struggles with, they want the entire kit to find out if it's like an onboard network card issue or if it's just a dock problem.
Okay.
But a majority of support requests have only requested the dock. And 2 people that requested the entire system, that had the entire system requested, they both said no, because a majority of other cases have only been requesting the docks. And they reasoned because they have Ethernet adapters from the previous Switch that they hooked in, and that works just fine. So it may solely just be the Ethernet port on the new dock.
On the dock. Okay.
Yeah. Because the previous Switch, you can get a Nintendo branded USB to Ethernet adapter.
Mm-hmm. It had no problem.
And no problem at all. So they use that in the Switch 2 dock, and also no problem. So that indicates that it's not a problem with the Switch itself. It's got to be an issue with the dock.
Okay. Well, that's an easy fix.
So,
well, theoretically.
And since a majority of them had sent in, I just added a little side note here. I was like, since a majority of them had requested that they just send the dock in, I put it indicates that Nintendo may actually know what may be wrong in the situation.
They just have to fix it.
We'll see what happens with that.
Maybe they had an early manufacturing defect that broke through.
And that was pulled through just a bunch of different Reddit threads on it.
Okay.
A lot of people were asking questions about it. And then the next thing I have is the battery issues. It seems like it's such a small, limited number, though. I don't think it's going to be anything major or serious. You're talking about, they just moved over 3 million consoles in 4 days.
Yeah.
So
the fastest selling console ever.
Yeah. It's insane. I mean, that's a fuckload of batteries, consoles. That's a fuckload of anything. 3 million of anything in 4 days. Physical units. I mean,
have
that's
3 million atoms in this hand. Would you like it?
That's insane.
Fuck! My atoms are gone.
10% discount.
Damaged goods.
Yeah. Damaged goods.
Is that thing that would always be told in high school where like every time you touch something that you're causing a mini explosion or something, like your atoms are exploding each other when you touch?
I have a crazy theory for life as we know it.
Oh my god.
Because now that you said that, it reminds me.
Someone say 10% back on rewards. Get the fuck out of here.
How many 10% back in rewards?
10% back on these nuts.
You know, like 7 years ago, I'd switched to Geico. 15 minutes did save me 15% or more on my car insurance.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, I was cracking that joke. I went into work every day saying that. And I was like, I actually switched to Geico and it was actually cheaper, so I can actually save $15 or 15 minutes and save me 15% or more on my car insurance.
And it's funny because I don't think they have that quote anymore. I don't think they have that slogan.
No, because they're not the cheapest.
No, they're not.
And they're not the greatest place to work at anymore either.
Where do I sign up for 10%? I'm about to ban you, Connor.
I can tell you this,
not
though.
in this fucking chat.
My insurance renewed, right?
Yeah.
$100 cheaper. $110 cheaper.
Through who?
State Farm.
Really?
Yeah, I've had them for the last 3 years.
The thing is,
and then all of a sudden, my premium just dropped $110.
Mine
Nothing
going
changed.
up.
Mine was going up.
Mine went up $10 this last time, and I worry though that if I switch, I'm not going to get as good of service. Because like Geico, the process to get my car fixed when that deer hit it,
yeah,
so simple.
Yeah,
I paid the $300 when they were done.
Yeah,
called it a day. But like, I worry that if I switch to someone like a State Farm or like an Allstate, that it's just like I know Allstate actually was really good.
I can tell you from all three personally have been phenomenal.
All of them have?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had Geico. I went from.
But have you ever had to use them? I know you had to use Allstate for your mom's van.
Yeah, we had to use Allstate for the van.
But Geico and like, have you had to use them?
Geico we didn't use. We don't pay for roadside because we have AAA for roadside.
Right.
AAA. It's I think significantly better just to cut out roadside from your main insurance and just pay it yearly through AAA.
Right.
It's like $80 a year.
Okay.
And they do so much more. You get discounts on concert tickets. You get discounts on hotels. You get discounts on theme park tickets. Like, yeah, people that don't have AAA for roadside assistance, like, I'm going to tell you this flat out. Cut roadside assistance out of your insurance and just get AAA. It's stupid if you don't have.
That's what I
Yeah,
should do.
it's nuts. Yeah, see that's a
different.
general consensus. The insurance, as long as you're not going with something insanely off, but like, the general sucks. I know that one for a fact.
Does it
Yeah,
actually?
the general absolutely sucks.
I have no
It's
idea.
the worst. It like when Matt got into the accident, I think it took like a full year for them to come to a resolution or something.
God,
It
damn.
took forever. I don't. It may not have been an entire year, or it might have been more than a year. It was ridiculously long. It was really dumb.
I didn't know.
It took forever. He doesn't have the general. The other person had the general.
Oh,
So, and every single time the general's involved, it's like not good at all.
well, that's probably because
That's a common joke within insurance. It's if you have the general or you're going up against the general, it's just like
yeah,
not good.
time consuming.
Yeah, it's the worst. I don't know. Yeah, we've used Allstate. Allstate was phenomenal. We already know Geico's pretty good. State Farm has, aside from like the fire thing that happened in California, saying they were canceling policies day prior. I don't know. You just got it paused. I was like,
Yeah.
we frozen?
No, I'm trying to see how long we've been going for.
Yeah. But
Hour 37.
nice, not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Wish we had started a little earlier, but we did dilly dally a little bit.
Yeah. And then I came up a little late.
Motherfucker.
But no, State Farm so far for me has been great. They call you in like every other year. You don't have to, or you could just do it. You can do in person, you can do on the computer, or they prefer to do like some sort of face to face. I think you can do it over the phone.
Yeah.
But they just want to sit down with you and make sure that you understand exactly what's covered. And they started doing that since the fires. Because people were saying State Farm was a big offender of, oh, they just canceled my policy and they just canceled this.
Yeah.
Which I looked into, dug up tons, and almost every single person that cried wolf there didn't have anything on paper or anything digital to post
Right.
about
Nothing
the policies
official.
getting fucking canceled.
I heard my
Yeah, something buzzed.
spin up.
No. So I figured, I was like, I'm going to leave that up to Californians being Californians, and they probably just did some sort of dumb shit with their insurance and forgot a payment, didn't renew, didn't sign the contract, something happened. Because it wasn't such a big deal that like every freaking news outlet was like, fucking drop State Farm because they don't cover anything.
Right.
Because State Farm seemed to take the extra initiative, go out there and be like, we just want to talk with everyone, make sure all the renewals are good, and like everybody's on the same page of exactly what it covers. Because these guys might have been on that mountainside and so we don't need fire insurance.
Right.
So it's like, who knows? So I don't know. Thankfully all three of them have been phenomenal. I still have Geico that calls me, and I still have Allstate that calls me.
Allstate calls me all the time.
And
When
they're
can we
both
get your quote again?
Yeah, they're both very pleasant to speak with, and I'm super open to. I pull up my State Farm thing, and I have him match all of my
Your coverages.
yeah, all the same coverage details, and it's just insurance, so it's easy. And they're like, yeah, we can match it by $1. Don't bother switching, or if it's like within a few bucks. Last time I think Allstate was cheaper by like $7.
Yeah.
And that was like in February, and now mine just went down $110
But I ain't
for
gonna keep it.
the 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's already down more than what I would have been saving if I switched.
Right.
So
How
I don't
did
know.
we get onto this?
No, I think I just brought it up really quick.
Yeah. Oh, because you were
Yeah,
talking.
I just said like randomly my insurance dropped $110.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I saw the amount. I'm like, that's in the 600s, not the 700. And I pulled up my last policy and whatever renewed at. I was like, that's $110 cheaper.
Yeah.
So, and I like put everything side by side, and I was like, no, it's the same coverage. So I was happy about that. That maybe it's my age.
Maybe.
Yeah,
That could be it.
Because I guess I technically just hit That age.
the number. Well, Yanni.
I don't think I have anything else in
I think that's
specific.
everything.
I know
What
Josh was asking about iOS 26. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
didn't really have too much going on with iOS 26 aside from contrast issues, which I can't see on my screen.
Yeah, you can't see on your screen, you stupid fucking motherfucker with dark mode on fucking Google
I have a dark
Docs.
mode. Yeah, I have a dark mode extension for Google Docs, and it seems like I understand what it does. It inverts the entire page. So what I thought was normal, he noticed it. I didn't know. I thought it was just a weird image, but his image is actually correct.
You can see Dark Goku in the back.
That's super funny. It's actually really hard to make him out when it's in negative. But
Evil Goku.
The text on the glass notifications is really hard to read sometimes. The contrast isn't there. It's actually garbage. And then the actual Apple app designs, you can tell when they... It's so hard for me to tell because mine's a negative. But...
Yeah, but you can tell when like the logos for apps are made with Apple's, like, I guess, app kit.
Right.
And when it's not, it's kind of it's interesting just because it's like a little small thing to nitpick at. It's not actually interesting as in like, ooh, this company's not caring about it. I'm like, no, it's not anything special. It's just an interesting thing I noticed.
And I gotta give it to them. Like, all of their apps look super consistent. That's a super nice thing about it. There were widgets in CarPlay. Again, I learned that from Nick today when he just he swiped over once, and I was like, oh, there's widgets.
Josh, there's a lot of lag.
Have you? Yeah, tons of lag. I think that's the first thing we started off with.
It's funny because again, in iPad OS, the lag's been all right. In Watch OS, the lag's been all right. In Mac OS, it's been all right. It's only the iPhone is what's laggy.
Yeah, the iPhone's been cooked.
And battery life is so bad, dude.
My first patch was a freaking nightmare. I'll explain that again real quick. My battery
32%, and I charged whenever I drove.
I think you're going to be pumped for the next patch.
I hope, because I usually never get anywhere close to 32%.
Because iPhones 15s and 16s got an emergency patch for the battery drain issue, where the phone was charging, but it wasn't reflecting the charge. So it was fully charged, but wouldn't power on because it thought it had no charge. And you couldn't force a charge into it because it was fully charged. So they released an emergency patch / update for it, and we just verified our version numbers are just slightly different on the end.
Yep.
Because he's on the 14, and then the 15s and 16s got the emergency patch. Since I got that, I no longer have to pop my phone in the charger at home for hours. That's the other thing. I'm on MagSafe too. For hours. It took 3 or 4 hours to get my phone up to 80%.
Damn.
It was a nightmare. Yeah, it was really bad. And I got this update now, and it's back to normal. I just charge in the car. That's all I need. And I don't have any issues.
Right.
So yeah. That was a majority of the iOS 26 stuff.
Yeah. There wasn't much else. tvOS looks exactly the same way as it did before.
The Trump phone?
Stop it. No. We're not talking about it again.
What firmware am I on? On my iPhone?
The cool firmware. The firmware only cool guys get.
Firmware.
How do you check that?
In About? I see modem firmware.
Or are you just talking about the update? I feel like he's just talking about the update.
The specific iOS version that I'm on is 23A5260U.
I love watching that printer go. printer go burr.
I still like how quiet it is.
Hell yeah.
They did a phenomenal job with that printer.
I know you're jealous.
How quiet it is, yeah.
Yeah. I know you're jealous.
Yeah.
Get wrecked.
It's peaceful.
Well, I guess that's everything. I guess that's all of the above.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else you think about that you want to talk about.
Is it honestly both? Hold on, let me get my modem firmware.
You guys
Yeah.
have the same phone, right?
I think so.
Okay.
23A 52. Yeah, so we're on the same version there.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
That's
my
the one with
modem
the battery
firmware.
fix.
Yeah, modem firmware is 2.02.01.
I think next year, when they have the next iOS version, I should probably just update maybe like a week into it, 2 weeks into it, instead of the same day.
Yeah, that'd probably be
'Cause,
smarter. But you know what? My data's backed up.
Yeah, so is mine.
And
Like,
I was at a point when I was sitting there, I'm like, I could kill an hour restoring my phone if I have to. So I just nuked it right up.
yeah. That's definitely not the problem for me. It's just, should I switch to beta? No, because you're what's below a beta?
Alpha?
No, below a beta.
Below a beta?
So there's alpha, beta, then what?
Release.
I'm saying in terms of male. Because Connor's definitely not an alpha male. And he's lower than a beta male.
Oof. I mean, if you're going down the alphabet, there's a gamma and a delta.
There we go.
Delta male?
Delta male.
Especially when the developer beta. I hate that they call them both betas. There's public beta and developer beta. There just needs to be alpha and beta.
Charlie? Just Charlie, apparently. Google is saying.
That's if you're going to the like that's the Greek alphabet. Alpha, beta, gamma. And then after that's delta. And then after that's epsilon.
Is it? Just keep going.
Yeah, is that the iota kappa? Yeah. Alpha, beta, gamma.
What are the 24? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. The Greek man
Beta is
teaches me
beta,
things.
gamma is gamma, delta is delta. Yeah.
Oh, so this isn't like for some reason I always assumed it was like based off of the English alphabet. Like the alpha male, beta male, so on and so forth. The stupid fucking memes that people make. I didn't realize it was actually based off of something legit.
Right.
I thought it was just memes. Anyways, Connor's a fucking omega male, since that's the last letter I see right here.
Oof.
I knew that one. Omega male. That sounds like a fucking super villain's name.
No.
Here comes Omega male. Oh my god.
Anchor is gonna release their Soundcore A30 sleep buds. I've considered getting sleep buds.
Really?
Not like I really have an issue with noise, but sometimes there's some nights I can't sleep because like when it rains, we have a leaky roof right now, and it it drops down to our basement.
Dude, the rain that's been coming through recently
has been dumb.
Insane.
It's been so dumb.
It's been waking me up in the middle of the night. Like, holy crap.
So
I just like that again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm so upset about that. Because he needs to we're about to get our roof fixed, and the guy he saw the wood up there and was like, yeah, the wood's got to be replaced.
Actually, looks pretty alright.
So really low chance it looks like, right?
Yeah, actually, it got
I hope the storms
here,
are finally over, because as soon as we hit here,
because I mean, well, it'll go up to, oh my god,
Yeah, the temperature's disgusting.
don't want it. Oh my god, I don't want it. 64% humidity, disgusting. But then we go to 83.
I'm just happy our home is really hardy wood. It's brick. It's concrete.
My home, on the other hand,
This freaking leak, dude. I just don't get it. It's like, we both have a hunch.
took out his water pump.
That's insane.
Oh, I'm so happy I replaced my water pump.
Yeah, it's
2
doing,
years ago now.
It's doing pretty good too.
Loud as shit, but it works.
Is it that loud?
Then it's louder than the
Like,
older one. Yeah.
compared to the older one, but like it hangs in there pretty damn well.
Sometimes, like when I'm trying to go back to bed, and like
Sometimes
it
it
goes
kicks
off or
on.
something, and it turns on, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Isn't
shit.
it like right under your room?
It's right under here.
It's under here?
Yeah, but you can hear it very clearly.
It actually is pretty decent. Yeah.
You can hear it very clearly though.
Because I haven't noticed. Yeah.
I need to start looking into going into the house and some of the spots where it's drooping real bad, like try and do something, because I don't want to rip up the floors to do it.
Yeah. Replace the subfloors and all that.
I'd rather just crawl under
Add
the
more
house.
bracing.
Yeah.
Yeah, add more bracing.
I'm not skinny, and I don't know if I'm going to fit through that hole. I have to pay somebody to do that.
Dry it.
Yeah, I could see
Throw
if
something on, just lay down and just start scurrying.
I could see if Rick could come out and do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Only just he's
And
like
he's also got buddies that'll do it too.
okay.
Because it was him and I think they call him Kirby. Was one of his buddies.
Kirby.
They both came out. We paid them. They helped us with the roof. It still leaks, but like another portion of our old house, another portion of our roof. But they did a phenomenal job in terms of what needed to be done. The leak is coming from somewhere else though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm knock on wood. I haven't had any leaks.
Yeah, it's
roof
phenomenal.
leaks.
And honestly, if you do, you already know what your attic looks like. So
Yeah, it's not.
I haven't looked at my attic
figure it out.
ever.
I've
I've never looked in the attic.
fix that flashing on the side of my house. I have like a small list of things that I have to do to this house still.
Gutters 100%.
Yes.
I was concerned with the
The flashing.
canopy that you have up there because the water's hitting the canopy and then like smacking right back into your wall.
Yeah. It's only been up since Sunday.
Okay.
I was gonna wait for it to stop raining, and then I came home and I was like, well, I don't have time to take it out today.
Yeah.
So
And then
maybe
you
I'll
have
do
a
it tomorrow.
piece of wood that's happening. That was what happened to our shop. That's like rotting away. I'll show
On the
it
side, right?
on your door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The jam.
Mhm.
Yeah. No,
That's
I
what
see
happened
it.
to us. Thankfully, you're on a porch. It's not like you have water on it.
Yeah.
So you're on a
I have
porch. So it
to-
doesn't really matter. But
So
yeah,
you might have done this before. Do I just cut that piece out and replace it with new wood, or should I do the whole jam? Or the whole whatever that's
you
called?
can cut it, or you can just take a hammer and just pull the jam out and just nail a new one in.
Well, it's not because it's this piece and the thing that actually stops it. That's both rotted.
Take them both out. Get new strips.
Is
We'll
that easy?
look at it. We'll
Okay,
look
it's
at
that
it later.
easy.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
We'll look at it to be 100% sure, but if I'm thinking of the correct thing in my head, yeah.
Yanni's repair tips.
Yeah, there's always a list of things to do constantly.
Yeah.
With us, it's the roof. We have to regrade things, which is gonna
Shit,
suck.
Regrade things.
Yeah, we have
That
to.
sounds like it's gonna suck.
Not really. It's getting paver mix and just putting it up against the house, just to help grade water away from the house.
You know what I want to do this summer? Well, I say this summer.
We're going through it.
Yeah, we're almost through it.
I can't wait for fall. The cold, dry weather.
I want to
Because
put.
our house thrives in the cold weather.
Oh, I love cold.
Yeah.
I want to put
Snow versus rain.
my new office. My new office has its own dedicated mini split.
Oh, sick.
And I
That's
was
phenomenal.
talking to Robert,
Yeah.
and I was like, "So that thing works?" And he's like, "Yeah, it works good, especially when you close the door." I'm like, "So should I just like turn it down?" And so I turned it down today. And I put it to 72.
You cleaned the filter on it?
And no, I didn't do anything. I just walked in.
I was like, take really good care of it.
But I was like, we walked back in. I was like, oh my God, cold in here.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I love the thing.
But throw a hoodie on year round.
Like, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep it cold as crap in here. But apparently it gets very staticky once it gets too cold.
Humidifier.
So I'm not worried about that.
Get a miniature humidifier.
Because it's nothing but carpet in that room. Which, why would you put carpet in a technology room? That
two things you can
blows
do.
my mind.
There's
rip the carpet out.
Well, you can get a miniature humidifier to keep the humidity up, and you can also get there's anti-static carpet lining. You just spray it. You don't have to move any furniture or anything.
Oh, you just spray it around?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
It adds a layer. It's basically like silicone in a can.
Yeah.
But you don't see it. It doesn't stain anything. You just spray it on the carpet, and it just cuts like almost all the static out of it. We used to spray it in the back eons ago.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I think that's the show.
Yeah, that's pretty much
now that
it.
we started rambling. While in the middle of the show, I need to look into it a little more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out how to post this on Spotify.
Oh, that'd be good. I
and
think
make it an actual.
I think somebody said it needs an RSS or something like that.
I read that it needs an RSS feed. I don't know how to do that, so
I guess we're gonna learn.
get to learn.
I need to understand RSS still. It's still like a weird concept to me.
Could not even tell you what it is.
Yeah.
I know
there are
it
some
exists.
things that just.
And why do you need that for a podcast? Like, why can't I just give you my file?
Right.
Anyways, but thank you all for joining. Oh, I guess should we go over our projects or no? It's
I didn't
the
have
same
anything
from last week.
Yeah. Camera thing, we got that figured out. We learned a lot.
We did.
Thanks to Josh. Pet G. Yeah, fuck the Pet G. I threw the Pet G away.
I said he didn't do this.
Yeah, I did not do that. And then I figured this one out. Making name tags for work, and I figured out why they were printing like crap.
So, and I'm printing my next iteration of the under cabinet network switch mount. So, look for new camera. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's all I really got to do now.
Well, I guess we're going to call it. Thank you all for joining, and we hope to see you again next week. I can't think of anything else to say.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Don't do drugs.
We're all going to die.
Honestly, maybe.
Yeah.
We might see you next week.
Any spare bamboo spools? Like,
I only have one.
Spools?
I don't print enough to actually.
Like legit spools? Because I have legit spools. Like real bamboo spools.
Too many refills, not enough spools.
Why don't you print some?
I did. True, right? Yeah.
I mean, I have those.
I've been printing a lot of mine.
Too much spools, not enough space.
I need to print more.
Too much spools.
I need to actually like waste more filament.
Yeah, you do.
I just gotta find things to.
12,000% dummy 13.
Honestly, I should hook up 4 colors and just start doing big Pokemon.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
To just stage them out to work.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. I've got enough PLA and colors now, so.
Let me go ahead and call this one.